fucking audio. Holy. I hear myself.
You say something? No.
Oh, do I not hear myself now?
Should be live.
I was hearing myself in the background. Oh, now we're good. Hear myself.
We are live.
You say something?
I heard myself. I do not like myself.
You don't like yourself. Why? That's a weird start to a podcast.
Let me share this with people.
So, I don't know if I'm just fucking say hi. I don't know what to do. There's no script to this at all, so there's no way of like saying, hey fans.
I edit this in post, so we're going to start here in a second. We're live right now, so yeah, just feel free to do whatever you do is probably going to be edited out, so go crazy.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Yeah, hell yeah, brother. Hey, I can't do Kermit's voice. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, I'm not going to do Kermit's voice this entire stream. That would probably make fucking Oddshot just go, the hell? Even though he's not going to see this because he's tired. He's not going to fucking see it. Jeez. I'm just looking at stories on FinFech and everything's just tearing itself apart. Pretty nice.
Nice.
You're tearing me apart.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Lisa, you're tearing me apart.
My father's my stepfather's birthday is coming up, and I decided I'm going to get him the Room because he hasn't seen it, and I want him to see it.
That is going to be a blast. Imagine.
Yeah, imagine.
By John Lennon, or in this case, John Lennon, apparently. By
John
robots.
Lennon?
Because apparently...
Yes, John...
John Cena. Oh, never mind.
I'm not going to do that again. That was cringy.
Lean on me. Out of nowhere. Jeez. I've been not able to write whatsoever. This is sad. Crying inside. Like I said, 1,300 words, it's not usable because it's for something that I can't even write right now. I need to write for stuff that's usable, but at least I know I can write. So like, I just shat out stuff.
Yeah, I know. I feel like.
Yeah. I'm holding those two fucking stories hostage for review, so they're still being held hostage. I haven't looked back at them yet because I want to give a clear sort of conscience on them, so that way I know what the hell I'm talking about when it gets posted.
Yeah.
CS going.
Okay. We're live. Okay, let's do it how we do it on iCarly. We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and I remember it, so you don't have to.
That is not iCarly, you heathen.
Shut the fuck up. You're my guest. I'm your owner.
Wake up everyone in your nations. No. You have to wake up your nation, okay? You can't start out like that. Wake up the members of your nation correctly.
Do you think this is North Korea? Come on.
North Korea.
Alright, welcome to Muggonny Does a Podcast. I'm your host, Muggonny, and today's guest is Curly Fry.
You mean Curify, holy crapola.
Shut up!
Or from some people, apparently Kermit, but whatever.
You talk too much. What do you think I did? Bring you here to talk? Anyways.
Wait, what?
Last podcast didn't go so well. We had a bunch of technical difficulties, and I barely talked at all, so last podcast was alright. The whole reason why I created this podcast is because I wanted to be more comfortable around people, and I thought it'd be fun. So I hope that is something that will change over time. So, who better than to get Curify, who never stops talking? This should be good.
Basically, yeah. Well, it's not that I don't stop talking. It's just that I fucking talk, and it just never stops, per se, until someone jumps in and says, "Hey, fucker, it's my turn to talk."
Yes, I know.
So, yeah, welcome to my world. So I don't know if Muggonny has an agenda. Do you have an agenda for this, or it's just talk until you're happy?
No, let's talk whatever you want to talk about, unfortunately. Yo, you there? Oh, crap. Oh my god, my head. I'm sorry, guys, I just woke up. I slept for like 2 hours. I meant to sleep for like half an hour. Is this so funny?
He disappeared.
my brain is that dead.
You like ended your fucking stream or something, or what happened?
Yeah, like I was gonna log into YouTube so I can view the stream and look through the chat, and I did it on my Discord chat. My brain is so dead right now.
Folks, just understand that Muggonny has is in a, I guess you could say, sleep haze, and can't seem to walk into the fucking room properly. So
Don't worry, I have my coffee. It's next best thing to alcohol.
Put this way, you know, I think a lot of it. I talk people's jaws off, especially when I'm editing. But here's the thing: I'm not editing, so at least you're not going to get that much talking. So, what's on the agenda there, Muggonny? What's on the agenda for today besides telling me about the world and a half?
Apparently you had some things to say about Crystal Wishes.
I wouldn't say about Crystal Wishes. I'm talking about, like, there's something happened with her this week, or I think it was either this week or last week. My brain can't fucking remember time.
Oh, you kind of got cut off there.
That kind of sparked conversation. I'm getting cut off.
Yeah, you keep.
Okay, was it like? Okay, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, she posted a blog recently about like criticism, and that topic is very like, it's something that a lot of writers nowadays talk about, or at least they deal with it a lot.
Yeah.
People who both, there's so many different type of people on this site nowadays. It's just like they either post a shit post on the story, or they'll comment saying, "Woo, nice chapter," blah blah blah. That type of thing. And with Crystal Wishes, that sort of comments, along with everything else that usually an author would get, is not really something that she wants to see. And she said, "Oh, I'm done. Put it down and be done with it."
Oh.
And that kind of rubs off commenters a little bit, and kind of says, "Hey, why are you really doing that?" She even kind of said that, "Well, I'm not trying to avoid criticism," and then puts the big long "but" there at the end of that fucking statement, or not at the end, but in the middle of the statement. And I think it's just that sort of reasoning still comes off as avoiding criticism anyway, and that is hard to really digest when, criticism online is basically just kind of decipher which is valuable to you as an author. Is it valuable for someone to say, "Hey, you have a typo on page 3," or is it valuable to you that the character sounds a little off and you might need to fix that? That's where I think that's kind of an interesting topic to talk about. Just because it's like, why do people value a typo over something that's maybe a little bit more important than a typo? Or why are people just valuing like shitpost comments over some other stuff? It just seems kind of weird to see that nowadays, and seeing people disable comments just on that basis. I mean, there's other reasons why you can disable your comment section. Flutter Priest just recently did that.
Flutter Priest?
Smart guy.
Why did Flutter Priest?
Flutter Priest just posted a story called Just Reply, I think it's called. It's in the feature box as of the 4th of October. Well, comments, but it's part of the story. It is so good. Read that if you haven't. But promoting some other authors while I'm in the stream.
Wow.
Good.
I don't. Usually, whenever somebody comments on your story saying you need to fix this, fix that, it usually sounds like nitpicking. But a lot of authors I know appreciate it whenever people nitpick those little things because they know that they're making their story better. So, but to complain over somebody who's trying to fix a typo makes 0 sense because you could just take their advice and fix the typo instead of having to go onto FimFiction and make a blog about it. There's no reason over it. Just fix the typo.
From what I got from her is the reason why is she's stressed, like very, and you know sometimes criticism is stressful. Sometimes just sometimes. If the person's like saying, you know, your story is garbage, go jump off a bridge, unless, unless that's actually saying like 100% being serious about the jumping off part, I don't know. Is that type of criticism really something to be stressed about? You know, having nasty comments, is that something being stressed about? Yet again, criticism. How do you balance it? That's something that's always a hot topic.
The first example she gives is a terrible one. She's trying to explain why she's disabling comments, and the first example she gives is, yay, new chapter, which technically means that there are people who are excited whenever she releases new work. What the hell? You're not only trying to block criticism, you're actually blocking the people who actually care about your work from commenting and talking about it in certain discussions. They can do that in other places, but one of the best places to do it will be on your own story. Why would people have to start Discord conversations and podcasts to do that? I don't know. Maybe because you disabled your own comments. It's dumb.
Well, there's a little bit. This whole situation reminds me of gonna fucking go really, like really, Kara. It reminds me of the whole entire time when PewDiePie from like 2015, 2016, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, call me out if I'm wrong. That time period where he disabled comments because commenters were like spamming and all this other shit in his comment section.
Oh, I remember that.
Was like, yeah, you remember that? Okay, so it's similar, but not in the sense of like similar, because he still did care about his fans and care about what they thought. So he had a separate site for that for a while. I think he still has the site domain, but you know, and that's what he used. That like he has like a whole forum to where he posted threads on his videos and say, "Hey, comment on here," blah blah blah. Like that was something he did. That's to try and avoid people scamming and using his content, blah blah blah. But here we have a little bit more than that. She goes on a little bit farther to say like all the nasty comments and the really insightful comments, and it's just really confusing. Is there like a weight distribution in terms of how comment is like weighed, or is it more of like this is all together? Fuck comments. People are trash. Like why is criticism at this point just being weighted as like sort of a negative thing? When criticism constructively, by the way, is more of a positive feedback. The only time criticism is negative is when someone comes onto your story and says, "Oh, your story is trash," and then leaves. That seems to be more of a negative thing. Because there's nothing to gain. The person just basically, I guess I could say it this way, sideswipe you. and you don't get any sort of feedback back. You don't get anything back from it. It's just, here's what I'm going to feed you. Fuck giving back to you. You're done. Like,
here are my thoughts in the comments. Despite me thinking she's kind of an idiot for disabled comments, I can get behind her reasoning because the comment section can be kind of frustrating, especially when you're writing a story and you want to see what others think of it. So when I see comments like, ooh, new story, add that to my read it later list, and it's just people explaining that to you that they haven't read it yet, but they plan to. I want to see more comments about, like, what they actually thought about, like, even if it's something like criticism, which I don't mind that much. I'd be fine with that because I know they actually read the story and I know what they think. And that is pretty much why I still keep the comments around. I have no reason to disable them. Unless all I ever got was memes and story promotions and what other reasons did she list here? What's a dumb reason she listed? Typo correction. No, that's not a dumb reason.
Well,
when will this?
I guess I could say this definitely. I don't think she's an idiot for doing it, but I definitely think that I don't see a connection there as to why she would genuinely think it would be a smart idea. There's a maybe she's thinking, okay, well, what about here? Let's think of this way. So she turns off the comments. Okay. So what about on the blogs? What if they just come to her blog and say, oh, hey, your new story is really good? Or what about going to her messages and just saying, oh, by the way, your story is really good. Just wanted to let you know that because you don't have the comments on or something. Like, I think it's just a complete disconnect to an audience at that point. And really, I get the whole, there's a sort of thing people say sometimes where, like, yeah, I'm just writing for myself. This takes it to a whole new extreme. That whole phrase. I'm writing for myself. Literally just writing for herself and feedback of how she's writing. And that to me it feels more. It's kind of saddening. To see an author who before was like, yeah, it's are fine to now, and she's like even says in her thing like I met great people through it. Well, why cut off the only source of? Well, not one of the only sources. Let me rephrase. One of the sources you have of finding new people and being able to talk to your fan base, and cutting off completely. Like, why would you do that? There's no reason to. But here she gets a reason of stressing her out. I think at that point you need to consider am I able to handle this sort of stuff? And if not, maybe I should take a break.
Yeah, I might be just being a little harsh on her because I never really liked the concept of disabling the comments on stories in the first place, because the like and dislike ratio system and the comment system is one of the things that keeps fanfiction together. You have a comment system on fanfiction.net, but you have to click a little icon to get to it, so they're just hiding the entire time. Meanwhile, all you have to do is just scroll down after you read the story and just see what other people think. Then you get the like and dislike ratio system, and you can see what people think of the story, and that's what makes it more interesting. So,
or if you like me, don't like spoilers, I'm not going to scroll through it. I'm just going to go right into the story and then put down what I think.
Yeah, you kind of had to do that with the popular stories, because if you know the story is popular, you have to avoid the comments, even though it sucks, because you kind of want to see what, like, sometimes you want to see what other people think if it's a story you're confused about.
I mean, if it's not popular, like if it's sometimes what I do on the site is I go through new stories lists and just kind of see what's there. And even if there's comments, I don't go straight. I just click right onto the chapter that's posted if I'm interested in reading it. If I'm not going to look at the comments. Because here's the thing. This is where criticism kind of butts heads with my opinion here. See what people think about it. I want to form my own opinion of it. So as an author looking at my own story, seeing what they think, I wonder, so did I, on my end, did I make an error of judgment? Did I not write the part, communicate the story to them? Was that not clear? Like, how do I put this? Like, what I wrote, did it reach them? Which is a very cliche phrase from, what's the freaking anime called? Your Lie in April. Did it reach them? If it didn't reach them, then it might be on my end that might be an issue, you know? And then I have to relook over my work. I don't want to look at it until I see kind of a conclusive sort of whole, a conclusive, like, kind of, I wouldn't say survey, a conclusive bit of the comments, seeing what people, not just one person, but people thought of it. And if what people thought, if they thought it was cool, or if some people thought it was bad, oh well. Like, you know, on to the next story. Because, you know, I think writing for yourself is great. But online, you're going to get people reading it, and they're going to think of what your story is and decide whether or not, oh, it was good or not, you know? Yeah. That's how that works.
You remind me of a person who PM'd me. This is like I believe like 1 or 2 years ago. A person PM'd me and asked me to take a look at her story and said to give a little bit of criticism to her to see what there is to improve. And I read the story and it was okay. I never specifically said it was bad. But immediately she responded with, "Oh, I didn't ask for criticism," even though she did. And she was very clear. And
sorry, that's great.
Yeah, and she actually said, "I write for myself and no one else." So what you're basically saying is you write for yourself and you post it where everyone can see it. And she also said that the fact that so little people read my work, it makes me happy, and that's a good feeling. I can support that, but note that there are people who are out there looking to help you improve upon your work. If you're gonna have fun, if you're doing this all just for fun, don't you think you want to improve a little and make that a little funner? Because part of the fun I get out of writing is looking to get better. Would you say that's not true?
Mm-hmm. You know, improvement's a good thing.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. And I mean, here's a great phrase to sum up that, by the way. For your interaction with that person. Don't cry wolf if you don't want the wolf. You know? You know, if you don't want the wolf to come in, you might not want to call for him.
I've been meaning to make a blog about that PM I made, because by now it happened so long ago that the person probably wouldn't remember making it, so I can probably get away without the person getting pissed off if she sees it.
I mean, if you want to use that phrase, it's great. Don't cry wolf if you don't want the wolf. You know, that's basically how commenters are. You know, they'll come in and they'll see the story and be like, okay, do I like this or do I not? And if they don't, oh, they'll tell you that they don't. They also tell you that they do, but they'll definitely tell you if they don't.
But
criticism for me has been a very hard thing to deal with. I think this is going to sound really interesting. The younger you are, the harder criticism is.
It is.
Unless you don't mature well. But like for me, when I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, if you had the same conversation with me, I think I would have told you, you know, especially with when I was writing A Slave's Freedom a long time ago, and I was struggling to deal with commenters. I had a Reddit group target my story before. So they say that, you know, a lot of rude things, a lot of rude things.
How rude?
How rude? I'll tell you how rude. So either they'll say that I was slaves freedom's controversial. Let's get that through.
I was making a full.
You hear me, right? Or is it? Okay,
I was making a Full House reference, you dumbass.
But I know. But I'll tell you how rude anyway. I was going to segue into it. But I don't care about the reference. That's basically what I'm telling you, because I just basically just segued into it. But it was so rude, I guess you say, that that I didn't really want to approach them because they weren't willing to approach me directly. If you're gonna comment, be direct. Don't be that person who's like, I'm gonna go post on this other site about your content and then not say anything to you, even though I'm talking shit about you. I mean,
Wow.
a lot of people like to do that, I guess, for some reason. Or at least some of the people that I had in contact back then did that, and it was it was like not just like 1 or 2 people; it was like 10. I had like 10 people just being like very rude, and nothing was done about it because whatever is on FimFiction is all that FimFiction admins can do. They can't go to Reddit and go, "Oh, hey, by the way, here's some people who are being very rude on our site," and deal. So, if you could be so kind and remove the threat, no, we can't do that. Yeah, no, FimFiction can't do it. So you got to be careful, with how you respond to them. I wasn't careful, and that's how that happened with that story. Since rewriting, I haven't had any problems, but I had that plus other commenters from people saying you're racist for writing stuff to other things. It's weird. This site, you get everybody. It's weird, but it's good weird, I guess. That's the best way of putting it.
You reminded me of I pulled when I first joined the site at 14. I remember telling you this. That group I started about button mash?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the concept of the group was so stupid, and I'll explain it for the people listening here, if there's anybody listening. When I was 14 years old, I was an idiot, and I started a group in response to the copyright claim on J Animations. The group was about saving button mash. But the catch was, for every episode of MLP you watched, you had to not like it. That was my cause. This was how we were going to save our character. And of course, the group got massive flaff. I will say that was popular for a day. A lot of people joined just to comment on it, just to call me stupid, and they weren't wrong. One of these people was the soon-to-be story approver, Professor Plum, and oh my god, it was oh my god, it was really entertaining because for some reason, he was the one who pissed me off the most, so much that I actually PM'd him, wrote in all caps, "Fuck you!" I don't. He has a screenshot of somebody saying "fuck you" in all caps, but it doesn't look like mine, so I think I'm in the clear. But so long story short, when people are giving you criticism, they're kind of doing it to look out for you, so stop. So just stop and consider. So I'm trying to say here, because either you're a massive idiot, or you just need to learn something. That's my take on criticism. Now, Professor talking about Professor.
I tried memeing.
You tried memeing?
Didn't work.
Oh,
memeing didn't work. Anyway, sorry, I just spoke out loud.
Anyways, I want to mention this one thing. Professor Plum, back when he wasn't a story prover, I actually said to myself, that guy could be a story prover. And he did become one. Wow, guys. I'm a genius. I'm able to
genius, dude.
Yes. I am able to recognize the next story prover for the site. You're probably not going to be one.
Predicted?
Yep. You're probably not going to be one, Kirify.
Oh, yes. Are you asking, do I want to be one?
No, you're not. You're not going to be one.
Oh, I'm not going to be one? Okay, good.
Yeah. I definitely want to be one because, as much as I like reading fan fiction, I really don't think I could, having that much responsibility. Because you know what they say in Spider-Man, pizza time. That I don't think I could handle that.
I like reading fan fiction too, dude, but I don't think I would want to, on the basis that I probably would have to look at the stuff that I don't want to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, for example, let me think of something grotesque to put together. Let me think. Anything that would be terrible to put together. Land Before Time, Toy Story. Let me think. What else could I put in that mix?
Diaper fetishes.
Let's not put that in yet. Be careful there, cowboy. You got a lot more to go.
Oh. I'm gonna get back on my saddle.
Let's think. Yeah, get back on your saddle. Chillax. Lay back. All right. So we got Land Before Time, Toy Story. Jack could put whatever the fuck they want. Let's see. Combine that with some YouTubers, because that sometimes happens. Like, let's say Jacksepticeye, and let's see what other YouTuber could we slash in their Markiplier. All right, now we get those together. Those four. Plus, then you get the diapers just for shits and gigs, because now we're just gonna go in full blast, along with some fart vor and
okay, I never.
Because that's great, right? Yeah, and basically that is my worst nightmare in a news stories tab. And Wraith is probably going to write that fucking crazy. It'd be nuts. But point being is that that's what a story improver might have to see. Not on a daily basis, but pretty much anything like that, where it's just out of this sort of realm. Like, why did you write that? Probably is probably what a story improver has to see. And I wouldn't be able to handle that, to tell you the truth. I just be telling them, can you just go back to the drawing board on this one? I think there's a lot of stuff you got to fix there.
Okay.
Go back to the drawing board.
No. I think one thing I would have to look forward to if I was story improver is awful fan fiction, because I'm one of those people who can read awful fan fiction and laugh at it. I think that's one perk a lot of people miss when they read fan fiction. They do not know how to laugh at bad writing.
Oh, I mean, I love bad writing as much as good writing, which is kind of funny. I'm just a weirdo. Like, compared to a lot of people on this site, like, there's some people who they love good writing. They want to make sure that they're seeing some good stuff. If they don't like it, then they'll tell the author. But here I am, where good writing, I'll tell an author if it's not that good, and, hey, you could do better. But I do like your stuff. And then I'll get the ones where there's like, it's not that good writing, but I sure as hell will read it. But I don't know. There's an audience for everything out there, even if you don't want there to be one.
Yeah.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, like bronies. God damn it, those guys. Furries. What the hell kind of culture do we live in? Apparently, one with animals on two legs.
I'm telling you, man. There's an audience for everything. I mean, there's people who just love trash bags, and I'm like, you love trash bags that much? I mean, I like it just holding the trash, but you don't have to go that far. Jeez, I don't know. But like I said, there's an audience for everything. If you write for a certain audience, go right a fucking in. There's people on the site that write for certain, type of content, and go for it. The world is yours. Just know that if you get downvoted for it or you get criticism for it, understand that and be cool with it. I see that sometimes a lot on different fics, like on the site even, where people complain that they're getting downvoted. It's like, why am I getting downvoted? It's like, well, you just wrote for Fall of Equestria. Good job. Good job. You realize, like, if you write for certain things, the site's not like... we don't take... Let's say it this way. Remember the old love and tolerate thing that happened to, like, when the fandom first started and shit? People were like, love and tolerate and shit.
That bullshit model?
That's such a joke. Like, I don't think... I'm not going to say I don't think all the fandom does it, because that's a lie. I've seen this still, even in 2018. But here's the deal. No one runs in that model. And if they do, they're trying to hold on to something that it doesn't exist anymore.
Doesn't.
It's not how life works. You don't love and tolerate everything. There's no way you can. And I don't know how to imagine.
We're just, I just want to throw this out there. People make bronies out as if they're this wonderful group of people. We're just a group of men who like to watch a TV show. That's literally all we are. Quit making a big deal out of it. Especially all the bronies
We
out
love
there.
everybody. Am I right?
I guess. I don't like you, but, I love everybody else.
Everybody,
Yeah.
Respect everybody, but loving everybody, you're going a little too far there. Jeffro, just a little too far, brother. Like, a little too far,
Yeah.
Just a little too far. A little too far there, brother.
I wouldn't be surprised if Alex Jones came out as a brony. That'd be fucking cool, actually.
Alex Jones is a bro. Yeah, I know. Frogs are pretty cool.
I just had an idea. Alex Jones fan fiction. Let's make it happen, guys. I want to see if this is a thing.
So, Muggonny's podcast, if that actually happens, like, maybe if Muggonny writes one, it'll happen. But if there is one out there, I'm screaming eternally. Trust.
Okay, I found one. It is called, Shrek shits in Alex Jones's mouth.
Okay, if Wraith's watching this, you better comment saying that's hot, because I'm not saying that.
Apparently the story is very short, so we're gonna do a reading of it.
No, we are not doing a reading of that.
Sorry, it's my podcast.
I mean, you can read it. I'll just tilt my head, but I'm not reading that. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, the first ever audio reading on Muggonny's podcast. It was the usual day in Alex Jones's house. He had just gotten done eating a sandwich with his shirt off. Just then, Shrek broke down the door. Oi, where's Homer? Shrek asked. Who the hell is Homer? Alex Jones screamed like a disabled homo. Well, he's about to be what are you going to be? Shrek said. A shit slut. Shrek punched Alex Jones in the face, knocking him to the floor. Alex Jones felt his pets slide off, exposing his tiny micro penis doing. What are you doing?
This is so bad. Oh,
Alex Jones said, "You're making me into a gay." Shrek grinned. I'm going to make you into a whore, he said, dropping his pants. He hovered his green ass over Jones's face as Alex Jones kept screaming like a dumb little cunt he is. No! 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 Here comes the flood! Shrek said as his ass unleashed a blast of swampy diarrhea shit all over Alex Jones' face.
My God.
A lot of it got into his mouth, choking him, making him suffocate.
This podcast has become a fanfiction reading.
Shrek laughed as he put on his pants and walked out of Alex Jones' house.
Fuck was that?
It was a masterpiece. What was you rated out of 10?
Out of 10, there's no number to define that story, to be honest.
I say infinity.
The reason why there isn't is because I fucking lost all numbers that I had left. I don't know how to count now, actually. So you're gonna have to rate yourself, man. I don't know how to count. I just lost the ability to count thanks to Shrek shitting in Alex Jones' mouth.
I'd say on a scale of 1 to 10, an infected embalming tool out of 10. That's
1 out of a what in tool? Embalming?
Yeah, an embalming tool, the things they use to embalm bodies. An embalming tool laced with cyanide out of 10. That way I'm guaranteed to
I'd rather just take the cyanide out of 10. I would probably take like 10 pills of cyanide, brother. I would be dead right there out of 10.
Okay,
I think that's how terribly bad good it is, dude. That was an experience of what the fuck and why at the same time.
Okay, maybe that was a poor rating. Okay, coat hanger out of 10. You, the author, were not aborted as a baby, and that is the worst part of the story.
Coat hanger. All right, you know what you need to do? It's not a coat hanger. It's what is that freaking song? Oh no, crud! It's a Jimmy Carr joke, and I just lost it.
Oh crap!
Wait, here it is. Okay, it's a EastEnders finish out of 10, aka dropping basically the same sort of thing in terms of coat hanger, except you just push it down the stairs. As if EastEnders has finished. So remember that I'm a great person to talk to, aka the worst to talk to.
I just read fan fiction about Shrek shitting in Alex Jones's mouth. Do not talk about how awful of a person you are. Imagine what my viewers are thinking right now. All two of my viewers.
Well, no. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You read somebody else's words. I actually said those words. Not the ones in your fanfic, but the ones I fucking said. I own my words. So, yeah, that fucking came in the head, essentially. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, let's segue into the thing I wanted to talk about. Review scores.
Yeah, fucking.
Yes, yeah.
That.
Yeah, we both have very different opinions on them. I still like to use them in my reviews. I do not use them in my Pleasant Commentator review group reviews because I really have no reason to use them there. But my Noah reviews, I still use them. You do not like them, period, I believe?
Review scores are like grades to me, and grades are very, I don't know how to put it other than pointless. The whole point of a review is to show what an author did well and what an author needs to work on in terms of writing. I mean, every other medium has their own way of like critiquing. With movies, it's like how the producer and all that shit, how it all worked in tandem. Whatever. I'm not gonna go into that far stuff. I know writing, that's why I know. But for fanfiction, like for reviews, what I think is, okay, what did the author do good on? What can they improve on? And basically, did I understand what the damn story was about? If I understood what the story was about, then I understand what was good about it, and what was bad, and what could be done. That's important shit. Setting an arbitrary score based on your scale that only you know is, I guess, just adds insult to injury when they score low. Because with grades, people I guess if I can put it this way, parents always tell their kids, "Hey, you need to get an A's and B's and be a good student, otherwise you don't get through life." That type of thing. My parents were like that. And if I didn't get A's and B's, I, definitely was pulled aside and said, "Hey, you need to do better in your work. Don't fucking do the stupid shit you're doing right now. Work hard in school." So when you're told that you're a C average and you're not good at writing, it's not really worth it. It's almost like being told to stop writing, I think is equivalent.
A review rating? It can be harsh.
It's pretty close.
My reviews, they fall into either being helpful or there's a thing I want to say about the story, and I just want.
Unless it's mine, in that case, it's a shit post.
Yeah, I see. I see review ratings as the best way I could describe the quality of a story. Like, say, I rate the story as 6 out of 10. It's probably not a well-made story, but it has some elements that make it enjoyable. So I'll give it something like a 6. Or if it's kind of well-made, I'll give it something like a 7. Very well-made, 8 or 9. Very rarely I would.
Well, then why give it an arbitrary number when it's better just to say, instead of being like, for example, for how you rate a 6, why not just say, "Oh, it's an enjoyable story"? Why not say if it's like a 4 or 3, quote unquote, it's a needs work? The PCRG has a good model, for example, and same thing with Present Perfect, a great reviewer on the site. He does for his own reviews, ones that he does in his own blogs. There's like a needs work, enjoyable, a recommended, very recommended, or whatever his scale is. It's like a 5 scale. Here's highly recommended, I think is what it is.
Here's the thing. Some reviews I write follow under the harsh side. Like, say there's like a thing I say is overrated. I might describe it with a rating because I feel like I don't need to put a rating on this one to really get a point across that I do not hate it. So if I'm talking about like how overrated a fic is, I'll give it something like a 6, and then you can go into detail about why I think it's this way and why I'm giving it this rating. That's my whole take on it.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's good to tell them why you think this rating, and I'm not saying that's wrong to do, but why not give it something that isn't a number? You know, because like I said, numbers are what people have to deal with in school, and well, if you don't know, not a lot of people like school. There's some people that do. That's perfectly fine. But some people don't like school. Not a lot of people like school. So why give them something that's a number when you could just say, well, for example, here's a couple from what President Perfect does. Recommended if you don't mind character death, or recommended if you like Spike and Shining Armor, or why not not recommended. It's got like sort of a needs working. So it does have a number, but it only has a number because this is what needs to be done to it.
Here's my question.
Highly recommended or whatnot.
Here's my question for you. Why don't they apply that needs worked stuff or recommended stuff to movie reviews? What makes the fan
Because
fiction?
movie reviews is a whole different medium. That's rated on a different scale.
You can still just say this movie needs work. This movie I recommend. This movie I recommend. But there are still some areas that need work. You can literally apply it to any art form. Fan fiction.
You can, but here's the deal: movies and even game reviews. Let's go a little bit more sketch, because I know game reviews too a little bit. IGN and those companies, that they do is they give an arbitrary number or grade, and that's based on their scale, much like how those reviewers have their own scale. You can do that perfectly fine. Just know that when I look at those on my viewpoint, I see it and go, well, that's dumb. I don't know your scale. Like, is there a blog to show me what their scale looks like, how they view things? Because, I mean, fucking IGN gives Call of Duty a 9 out of 10, where it's like a 2 out of 10 at best. You know what I mean? It's mediocre at best, quote unquote. So, what is a number system not good? Like, in that case, the number system doesn't seem very good in that sense because of how, I guess, inconsistent it can be. When you could just say, oh, this is a very good game, or this is a very good movie. Extremely good, and here's why. This is a masterpiece. This is whatever. Like, this is for movies. This is a must see. Or if it's a game, you should definitely play this. Those work a lot better and more effective. It shows the emotion rather than just giving an arbitrary number and go, wow, this is 10 out of 10. Okay, on whose scale? And why does it matter?
Like, if you're gonna rate it something like a 10 out of 10, I feel like you should be really in depth, because I feel like very rarely you should really give something a 10 out of 10, because very rarely something deserves a 10 out of 10. That's why you need to be
8 out of 10. In depth. Why does that matter?
8 out of 10? Well, for starters, the story would have to be very well made. The author would have to, like, if the author trying to make a point, he would have to try to get the point across. The overall story would have to be enjoyable for me, and I had to see this as a story I would totally recommend to somebody. And the rating...
So your 8 out of 10 is different from my 8 out of 10, or like somebody else's 8 out of 10, or maybe, I don't know, let's name some names. Flare Priest's 8 out of 10, or whatever. Everyone has a different view of 8 out of 10. So how does your 8 out of 10 fit in sort of a structure?
No.
You know? A structure sort of view. How does that fit with an overall opinion? Which is what you write.
It's mostly
the review is the overall.
Yeah, it's mostly how much I would recommend the story. Like, I never really saw the point in, labeling stories a must-read or masterpiece or recommended, that I just use the number ratings to show how much I recommend it, or like how much I think you would enjoy this.
But that's the same thing as what you just said.
Really?
Like, a number system is basically replacing a must-read, so why not just say must-read? It's easier to do. And plus, you don't have to be held accountable for why you're rating a certain way. Like, why rate a story that's really amazing at 9.5 when one that was, like, way better in some odd opinion, only like an 8? Like, there's a consistency error in terms of, like, number systems, and that's a hard thing to deal with. That's why one where you can just say, oh, this needs work, and not have to give it a 0.5 or a 0.2 or whatever some people do give. Or not even that, just giving like a setup just a 9 out of 10. Why are you giving it that when you just are doing the same thing as what a PCRG or someone else does? A must read. It seems like it could be easily skewed and it could be easily just kind of shoved out there when you could just say, this is what this is. Because that's what people are looking for at the end of the day. Like criticism. They're not looking at a number, they're looking at what you're trying to say. And the number is just a distraction.
There's a video. Do you know the YouTuber I Hate Everything?
Yeah, I don't really like him that much, though.
Yeah, well, he did a video.
His content comes off a little bit sketch.
Yeah, that's all at first, but yeah, I actually watch his stuff. He's actually an intelligent guy. He did a video called I Hate Review Scores, and in it, he actually got in 3 people who actually explained why they use review scores. Let me skip to that part in the video, and we can see their reasons. Yeah. And again, you don't really have to count this as valid because these are different kind of critics. One of them is YMS, a movie reviewer. The other is a music reviewer, and I forgot what the third one was.
Regardless of what they review, when you look at something differently, like each person looks at content differently.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to have their own way of reviewing. What really matters is how do they review it and why do they? And I mean, if they use numbers, surely that's fine. I don't agree with them on that, most likely.
Alright, let's see what they have to say about it.
From Your Movie Sucks, Anthony Fantano from The Needle Drop, and Ralph from Ralph the Movie Maker why they feel it's necessary to include one. They all make excellent points, so I'd recommend pausing the screen and reading the full thing, because I'll only be summarising what they say. So first off, YNS explained to me that he tries to keep his reviews as attemptedly objective as his inevitably subjective human brain can possibly allow, meaning that he rates movies on what he feels the actual quality of the filmmaking and presentation is. In his mind, every movie starts at a 5 and will either gain or lose points depending on various flaws or achievements. He also points out the strange phenomenon where if any critic rates anything under like an 8, then everyone assumes that means they think it's pure garbage, even though that's not what it means at all. Like, a 7 out of 10 is still a very good score. Shut the fuck up. Conversely, Anthony Fantano uses it more as a summation tool to tie up his general feelings into a simple package for his audience to understand what he feels is worth their time on. He said that this is especially important when talking about something as saturated and vast as music. He stressed that the number he chooses is merely a reflection of his personal feelings towards an album. Anything below a 5 he dislikes, anything above he likes. He mentioned that the biggest negative to a scoring system is when a viewer looks at the score and only the score. He said if he wanted people to do that, he'd put the score at the beginning of the video and then just end it right there. Ralph falls more in line with what YMS said. He points out that film is a very intricate and technical art, and that it's pretty distinct when something is done well and when something is done horribly. Some aspects, such as bad plotting or nonsensical characters, is not really a matter of opinion, and it's up to the critic to break down each element and explain why a film makes you feel a certain way. Of course, he acknowledges that some aspects can be debatable, such as if a story was engaging or if the music was moving, and that every critic should find a healthy balance between fact and opinion. Applying that to review scoring, he mentions that it's a shame that so many people only value ratings of like a 9 or higher, and that it's important to look at more than just a stupid number, and to try and find other personalities that have similar tastes to you. See, this is only 3 people who use a scoring system, and they all use it in a completely different way. It's like really personal to each one of them. So why the fuck do some of you people get so upset about it?
Yeah, he's kind of raging about it.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback off that because it's not. I see that, and the reasons for doing it. Still see it as something that is a distraction. Why put the? And he even said it. Why put the number when people are just going to look at it and go, "Oh, I didn't get a 9 out of 10." It's a waste of time. It actually detracts from your point and makes you look like you're just going to assign numbers to everything. And really, at the end of it, is everything just a number? You have to kind of look at content, as he said, objectively.